I've always been a massive fan of this Scottish poet, Robert Burns. Some years ago I did pretty much learn his most famous poem, the Shanter. I have been sort of meaning to record it at some point for posterity, and what better time to do it, to relearn it and record it in times of lockdown. So here I am. I have always thought though that it made sense to give you a little explanation of what the poem was about in case you haven't heard the story before. Tam O'Shanter was a farmer in Ayrshire in Scotland. On market day he used to stay behind at the end of the day and go to the pub with his mates who wouldn't, waiting at home with his wife Kate, and after he'd finished at the pub, the only way to get home of course then was by horse. And this particular night he left the pub in a terrible storm, travelling south from there down the road towards Alloway. Alloway was where Burns was born, and a place he refers to in the poem, Kirk Alloway, the ruined, haunted church in Alloway. Kirk Alloway is how he refers to it. And when he's there, he comes upon a dance of witches. The witches are dancing so fast they start taking their clothes off. The witches are in the main ugly, but there is one beautiful witch there, and she ends up dancing in her undergarments, and that's what's referred to as a cutty sark. A cutty sark is a short undergarment, and that's where the words come from. Unfortunately, Tam can't contain himself and he shouts out encouragement, and the witches then chase him, and from there it's a race on his horse to the bridge over the River Doon, the fabled Bridge of Doon. It's a few hundred yards from the haunted kirk. He's riding his horse, Meg or Maggie, and he's got to get to the river before the witches do. The good-looking witch, is called Nanny or Nan, and well, it's a race then to the river to see who can win. But without any further ado, we'll better start the poem. It's 1790, the end of market day in Scotland. As Chapman Billies leave the street, as drooty neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, getting through and unco happy, we think now of the Langscott's miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brews like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth found honest Tam O'Shanter, as he for air and nicked encounter, all air, one near a town surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. Ah, Tam, hast thou but been so wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice? She told her well there was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum that frae November till October, a market day there wasna sober, that ilka melder with the miller, thou sat as lang as thou hadst siller, that every nag was cad a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring fou on, that at the Lord's house, even on a Sunday, thou drank with Kirkton Jean till Monday. She prophesies that late or soon thou would be found drowned in Doon, or catch the warlocks in the murk by Alloway's all-haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me great to think how mony counsel sweet, how mony length and sage advises, the husband free, the wife despises. But to our tale. In market night, Tam had got planted, ungrew right, fast by an ingle, pleasing finely, with reaming swats that drank divinely. At his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty Judy Coney. Tam knew him like a very brother, they'd been fou for weeks together. The Nick drave on with sangs and clattering, aye, the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam, good gracious, with favours, secret, sweet and precious. The Suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was very coarse. The storm without mighty round and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm, whistle. Get mad to see a man so happy, he'd ruined himself among the nappy. As bees for him with lades of treasure, the minutes wing their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, all o'er the ills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread, you seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snowfalls in the river, a moment white then melts forever, or like the borealis race that flit, you can point the place, or like the rainbow's lovely form. vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide, that hour approaches Tam and ride, that hour and night, black arch the keystane, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and sick and night he takes a road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew, as upon its last, the rattling showers was on a blast, the speedy gleams of darkness swallowed light deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deal had business on his hand. Well mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelped on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, while holding fast his gubble bonnet, whilst crooning old most sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where geese and howlets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed a ford, where in the snow the chapmen smored, and past the burghs and Meeklestane, where drunken Charlie Bracknell been, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn, and near the thorn abune the well, where Mungo's mother hanged herself. Before him June pours all its floods, a rattling showers rose through the woods, lightnings flash from pole to pole, near more near the thunder's roar, and glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a breeze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounding mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers that can make us scorn? With Tippany, with fainer evil, with Ushkabar will face the devil. The swats seremed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he gardener deals a bottle, but Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light, and vow Tam saw an unco sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae cotillion bred new for France, but hornpipes, drigs, strathspeys and reels, put life and metal in the heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to give them music wise charge. He screwed the pipes and got them skeletal, roof and rafters added dull. Coffins stood round like open presses that showed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in his cold ale hand alight, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the Haley table a murderer's bairns in gibbet irons, 'twas spun lang with uncussum bairns, a thief recruited free a rape, with his last gasp his gab did gape, 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with murder crusted, a garter that a babe had strangled, a knife and father's throat had mangled, whose ain son a life bereft, the grey hair yet stuck to the heft, a mare a horrible and awful, and even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The pipe as loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They wheeled, they set, they crossed, they clicked till ilka call in all swatted ricket, and they custard the to the walk, and link it at it in the sark. O Tam of them in queens, o plump and strapping in the teens, the sark instead of creasy finnin, in snow white 1700 linen. These breeks of mine, my only pair that ain't so blush o' one good blue hair, I would have got them off my herders for a blink of the bonny birdies. But withered bedlams, old and droll, with goody hags, would spin a fold, lapping and flinging on a crummock. It's a wonder I did not turn thy stomach. But Tam kenned what was what through Brawley. There was a winsome wench in Whalley that night enlisted in the corps, long after kenned on Carrick shore, for many a beast did he shot, and perished many a bonny boat, and shook both meal corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her could he saw a paisley harm that while the lassie she had worn, in long true though sorely scanty, it was a best, and she was vaunting. Ah, little ken our reverend granny, that sock she got for her wee nanny, with twop and Scots was all the riches, would ever have graced the dance of witches. But here my muse, her wingman course, seek flights afar beyond her power, to sing how many, lap and flying, a supercharged she wasn't strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thought his very ane enriched, even Satan glowered, and fudged through vein, and hotched and blew with might and main, till first he caper, sign another, Tam taint his reason altogether, and roars out, well done, Cutty Sark! And an instant, all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie ride, when out the hellish legion side. As bees buzz out wi' angry fight, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pussies mortal foes, when poultry starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch a thief resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow, with many a holdridge screech and hollow. Ah, Tam, thou get thy faring. In hell they'll roast you like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming. Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thou speedy of most make, and win the keystay of the brig. They're at them till the tail toss, a running stream the den across. So ere the keystay she can make, the fainted tail she had to shake. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious settle. But little was she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off a mass of hail, and left behind her a great tail. The carling clocked her by the rump, and left poor Maggie be scarce a stump. Now, what this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and mother's son take heed. When at a drink you are inclined, or cut your socks when in the mind, think. You may buy the joys of dear, but remember, Tam o' Shanter's mare. Thank you.